Hi my tofu cubes, welcome back to another eating disorder podcast. Today I'm actually going to be speaking about digestive issues that we actually have in eating disorder recovery. This was something that was actually recommended to me by one of my subscribers, Sunny T. Actually commented saying that they were actually trying to support one of their family members or friends. I can't remember exactly who it was, but they were trying to support somebody with an eating disorder, and they just wondered about things that would maybe help in eating disorder recovery, because we suffer things like bloating, extreme gas. Every time we eat, we sometimes can look absolutely pregnant just because of the digestive issues that we actually suffer so much in our eating disorder recovery. It's most likely because our stomachs have shrunk, which is why when we only eat small amounts of food at a time, food restriction as well as things like binging and purging does indeed cause the muscle linings in the entire digestive tract from the esophagus to the anus to become deconditioned and actually shrink, so the food actually empties very, very slowly. Let's say food will actually literally sit in your stomach or bowels for hours, causing things like gas, bloating and pain. So no matter what the composition of the food that you're actually eating, your body is going to need time to actually become accustomed to being fueled on a regular basis. Your body's got to start to end up believing that you're going to feed it, because when you restrict, this is just going to limit your recovery even much more, which I know myself only too well. That's why you'll hear a lot on channels like What Maya Did Next. I'll link her channel down below. She talks about intuitive eating. That is a really great way, and it's one of the goals that we all have in recovery, to eventually get to being intuitive with eating. Basically what that means is learning to eat accordingly to your hunger and your fullness. That's a long-term goal for every single one of us. But I say, unfortunately, during refeeding, hunger and fullness cues are actually way off, because a starved body is a starved brain. We don't actually get those hunger cues sent to our brain. So most people recovering from an eating disorder have to endure extreme discomfort while eating. Let's say the exact opposite of what intuitive eating is actually all about. So when you're actually refeeding, trapped gas combined with food actually may distend your belly really visually. That's why it's very, very triggering in our eating disorder recovery, because we look in the mirror and we see that distended stomach, and we automatically, that sends to the brain, oh, that means you're fat. That's far from the truth. That's just part of the recovery process, and you've got to keep pushing on. When you're getting like this, I know it's really hard to keep eating, but it's really important that you keep fueling your body that food. You've got to keep pushing through that. It will get better through time, so I want to put that out there, guys. Let's say it's totally normal, and the results for the wastage of the muscles that actually support your abdominal cavity. Let's say these muscles are not yet strong enough to hold your stomach in. So have patience, like I say. It will resolve with regular meals and snacks as well, and it's really important to do that. Obviously as well, if you get extreme hunger, don't think to yourself that this means that you're binging, because it's really important that you feed your body when it is going through extreme hunger, because that's it telling you that it needs more fuel to repair the internal damage. So don't worry about that, that will all get better in time. Let's say irritable bowel syndrome, food allergies and your gut as well. Talking about that, let's say irritable bowel syndrome and food sensitivities are commonly seen in people with eating disorders. Your body has actually forgotten how to process many of the foods that you've avoided. Obviously if you're not vegan, it's things like cow's milk, yogurt, ice cream, cheese, carbohydrate foods like breads, pasta and cereals. This is basically because these are all the calorie dense foods, so it's going to be the thing that you obviously restrict in your eating disorder. Obviously it's the same if you're vegan. It's any of those kind of processed foods, probably things like fries, cakes, chocolate, obviously protein based things like obviously tofu, tempeh, seitan, anything that's calorie dense, that is going to be what you're restricting. So that's why. So like I say, you may believe that you've got a gluten sensitivity and lactose intolerance as you reintroduce these foods, and your GI tract actually reacts badly. Like I say, most of these sensitivities and IBS will actually resolve with free feeding, so give it time. Like I say, special diets are eliminating certain foods in an attempt to alleviate these symptoms is not wise while you're trying to recover from an eating disorder, because that will actually just set you straight back. You don't want to be dieting. I always say that I can never diet in the future, and that's very, very true. Work with your dietitian to obviously introduce these foods slowly back into your diet. So like I say, the relief tips for like things like constipation and such is obviously to make sure that you're eating food at regular intervals. Like I say, time your meals and snacks every 2 to 3 hours apart. Actually makes it much more easier on your stomach. Like I say, there's no substitute for food as that is your medicine, and that's really, really important you understand that. Obviously fluids are really, really important as well as fibre from a variety of sources such as grains, nuts, seeds, fruits and vegetables, and obviously consuming as much fats as you possibly can, whether that be nuts, avocados, olive oil, almond oil, anything like that. Any oils as well are really, really important, and they can obviously help your bowel to obviously move more regularly. And obviously you can get recommendations for your doctor, including things like fibre supplements and probiotics as well, so speak to your GP as well. For obviously issues like the gas, the bloating and the cramping, like I say, there's no easy way to obviously say this, but the best treatment for gas, pain and bloating is to continue to eating at regular meal intervals like I talked about earlier. Eating by the clock every 2 to 3 hours because you've not got those hunger cues. Digestive enzymes that obviously help break down your food and healthy bacteria in the gut are reduced, so extra gas and smelly gas is obviously very, very normal, so it's understandable that you realise that. But I say, bacteria is obviously ferments this partially digested food still sitting in your GI tract, so that's why. But I say, reduce or halt the consumption of things like sugar-free gum, mints and excessive quantities of fruit and vegetables. So I know a lot of vegans, obviously like myself, obviously consume a lot of fruit and vegetables, but it's really, really important that you reduce that, because another contributing factor to belly bloating is obviously sorbitol and fructose, natural sugars that are obviously found in obviously all these things. So that's really, really important. Your doctor obviously might recommend things as well to alleviate reduced gas and pain, as well as medication to obviously help food move through your system faster. Obviously as well, frequent bowel movements and even diarrhoea are very, very common when you're obviously starting to eat more regularly. You can try obviously adding in soluble fibres such as things like oats and oatmeal and even rice as well. These can really, really help, guys. Some alternatives that obviously work and are worth obviously speaking to your dietitian and such as things like lactase and beano, and obviously many things like obviously fermented foods, which I'm obviously going to talk a bit about as well. Like I say, natural enzymes are obviously depleted when you're obviously restricting them in the past, like I say. So speaking of things like reflux, if you've had frequent heartburn, your doctor can recommend a lot of different medications to obviously protect your esophagus from damage by acid. So I would say definitely speak to your GP about that. For the mind and the body, like I say, that's all connected as well. No, like I say, one thing I find is things like yoga and meditation can be really, really effective in reducing stress and anxiety related to your recovery, which actually in turn can obviously help your digestive system, because when you're stressed you'll get a lot of things like you'll have diarrhoea and such like, so that's really, really important you understand that these are all connected as well. So talking about fermented foods, guys, I'll link a channel down below, Eat Veg. She's one of my dear friends. She does a lot in fermented foods. She's actually got a series on it, but to let you know a lot about fermented foods, basically the consumption of fermented foods, probiotic foods really, that's what they've got. Many benefits. Let's say the microflora that obviously lives in fermented foods basically creates a protective lining in your intestines and shields it against pathogenic factors such as salmonella and E. coli. To obviously get that healthy dose of bacteria, it's obviously essential that you consume top probiotic foods. Fermented foods lead to obviously an increase of antibiotics and antibac bodies, I should say, and a stronger immune system. Plus they obviously regulate the appetite and reduce sugar and refined carb cravings. In fact, fermented vegetables can obviously help treat candida in your gut as well. Let's say a study published in the Journal of Applied Microbiology states that recent scientific investigations that have supported the important role of probiotics as a part of a healthy diet for humans as well as animals as well may be an avenue to obviously provide a safe, cost-effective and natural approach that actually adds a barrier against microbial infection. So when obviously food is fermented, it means that it's left to sit and steep until the sugars and carbs actually become bacterial boosting agents. The fermentation of vegetables is obviously a great way to obviously preserve them for a longer period of time. This gives you an option to obviously make a large batch of it and have it ready to eat at a dose of microflora at your disposal for a very long time. If you're new to fermented foods, start with half a cup a day and build it up from there. So a great list I would say is kefir. If you've not heard of kefir is basically a fermented milk product, cow, goat or sheep milk that tastes like a drinkable yogurt. Let's say kefir includes high levels of B12, calcium, magnesium, vitamin K2, biotin, folate, enzymes and probiotics. It obviously boosts immunity, heals irritable bowel disease, builds bone density, fights allergies, kills candida and obviously improves digestion. And you get vegan versions as well with things like coconut milk and such like, so it's really great. Let's say you can get it if you're a vegan, you're not vegan, whatever as well. Kombucha is another one, and I'll link a channel down below, Kombucha Princess. She does a lot in kombucha, so please go and check her channel out. You'll get a lot of ideas from her for kombucha. Let's say there are many reasons to consume kombucha. Let's say it's fermented beverage or black tea and sugar from various sources like cane sugar, fruit, and you can get, if you're not vegan, you can get obviously a honeyed version as well. It contains a lot of different colony of bacteria and yeast that are responsible for obviously initiating the fermented process once combined with sugar. It obviously helps with weight loss, increased energy, detoxes the body, supports the immune system and reduces joint pain and prevents cancers as well. So it's got many benefits and can help you in so many ways. Sauerkraut's another one. Basically sauerkraut is one of the oldest traditional foods made from fermented cabbage. It's obviously high in dietary fibre, vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin K and B vitamins as well. It's obviously great source of iron, copper, calcium, sodium, manganese, magnesium, and it has a variety of beneficial effects on your health. Like I say, it can obviously boost your digestive health, circulation, fights inflammation, strengthen bones and obviously reduce cholesterol levels as well. Obviously pickles is another one, guys. Let's say pickles contain a ton of vitamins and minerals plus antioxidants and gut friendly bacteria. Let's say pickles alone can obviously help address things like vitamin K deficiency, as one small pickle actually contains 18% of your daily values of this vitamin. That's an essential fat-soluble vitamin which plays an important role in bone and obviously heart health as well. So I would recommend that. Obviously miso is another one. Like I say, basically miso is created by fermenting soybean, barley or brown rice with koji, a fungus. Basically miso has anti-aging properties and obviously helps to maintain healthy skin and obviously boost your immune system, lowers risk of cancer as well, and obviously improves bone health and promotes a healthy nervous system. Obviously if you're vegan or if you're not vegan, I would recommend tempeh. Let's say that's got beneficial fermented food as well, which is basically a soybean product. It's obviously created by adding a tempeh starter, which is a mix of a live mould Basically, when it sits for a day or two, it becomes like a cake-like product. Let's say tempeh reduces things like cholesterol, increases bone density, reduces menopausal symptoms as well, promotes muscle recovery, and is the same protein quality as meat as well. So that's really, really great if you understand that. If you want to move on to things like plant-based or vegan, you've got all your beneficial things from tempeh as well. It's got high levels of vitamins B5, B6, B3 and B2. Obviously you've got kimchi, which is another one. Basically it's a fermented Korean dish that's made from things like vegetables, including cabbage, plus spices and season. It dates back to the 7th century. It's known to obviously improve cardiovascular and digestive health. It has high levels of antioxidants that reduce the risk of serious health conditions such as cancer, diabetes and gastric ulcers as well. Obviously you've got things like your yogurts. You can get probiotic yogurts as well, and obviously raw cheeses, which is made from milk and pasteurised goat milk, and obviously you've got your vegan cheeses. You can get raw vegan cheeses as well, so they've got a lot of probiotics in them as well, which is really, really great, guys. Let me know in the comments below if you would like any links for these, if you would like me to do anything, recipes on these. I'll do some recipes myself on things like kefir and such likes, but please go and check the channels I recommended out below. They'll show you a lot of great recipes you can obviously get that would help so much. I hope this has been beneficial to you guys. If you have suffered from any of these issues, or you do suffer with them at the moment, please let me know in the comments below. And if there's any other videos I can do that can help you in any way, just let me know. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you guys. Remember, as always, binge on life, purge negativity and starve guilty feelings, and I'll speak to you all in the next video. Binge on life, purge negativity and starve guilty feelings. Speak to you all soon and love you so much.